Great to have you here. Today we're continuing with another video about the Active 2.0. I've now done a long-term test of it for you and will use it as often as possible. Use here on the vehicles, with me, here in the car wash, and also in other cleaning operations, to simply give you feedback and to gain long-term experience. How is it in terms of setup, takedown, and handling with all the accessories? And speaking of accessories, that's another point we'll cover in this video. Let's take a look at the different nozzles. I want to analyze for you which nozzle is used most often on the vehicle. What's worth it? Which nozzle might we not need here? Cleaning? Where can it be used effectively? Where does it make sense? Where doesn't it? And what tips can we share? Let's take a look at the nozzles that are included. Let's go. And here you have the 4 nozzles that are included. Here we have 3 angled nozzles and the red one on the far right with the targeted point spray. And we have different situations here on the vehicle where these various angles can be advantageous. We want to rinse everything off the vehicle paint as quickly as possible. That means here on hood and roof, we want to cover some ground there. We don't want to just laser the paint surface with a small point spray here. Instead, we want to rinse these areas as broadly as possible, removing the pre-cleaner, the snow foam, and so on. Then we have, for example, the front here, and there are small gaps and little crevices where you might want to work a bit more precisely. Or here in these grill areas, or down here, for example, or generally at the front, when there are insects on it, you can also provide a bit more concentrated spray. That's also doable. Then also with the rims. It might also be beneficial not to use a wide, huge spray, but rather something more centered. So you can really work on these areas calmly. And that's why we're going to test the different options now. What makes sense and what doesn't. And we'll just start with the first nozzle. And this is the point spray nozzle. And why am I starting with the red one first? Because I think that it might be the nozzle variant that we won't need very often on the vehicle. But here with the vehicle using this point spray, I think that's the only application area, like small gaps, crevices, and little spaces where a lot of dirt might have settled. Because with such a wide mist, you won't be able to reach these gaps. Rinsed off, and that's actually the only application case, maybe a bit with the rims as well, but even there I would use the first angled nozzle. Specifically here on the vehicle, you can write your opinion down below. Where would you use this point spray option on the vehicle? Is there really an area where you say, yes, that's definitely super good? I believe that only for targeted cleaning tasks in small gaps, maybe when you want to rinse something out, this spray option is really suitable. But during the main wash, which is when you use it most of the time, I don't think we'll need this nozzle or this type of spray for washing the vehicle, but maybe for something like this. And this is a really nice application case, for example, when you want to loosen these moss formations between the stones to then sweep new sand back in, to freshen it up again. For the new year, depending on how intensively you take care of the garden. But let me show you how you can use this really well. I'm now completely 15 meters away from the pressure washer. That only works with the long hose. And I'm here relaxed, 60 centimeters away, and you can see it completely removes the dirt between these joints. And depending on how close you get, you either laser it completely out to the depth or just remove the surface dirt, depending on what distance you choose. I'm going to get really close now. It really rinses everything out all completely here. So, just as an example of where you can use the nozzle. Now, let's take a look at the next options. Here we have the 40 degrees, 25, and 15. Let's start with the largest angle, and for me, that's the option with the widest spray. Of course, we have 40 degrees available here. It's really for rinsing off pre-cleaners or shampoo residues and so on. So here you have the lowest pressure, so to speak, with this wide spray. That means here, if you want to remove insects from the surface with it, because the cleaner hasn't quite done the job on its own, this nozzle isn't the most powerful. I would go for the yellow one, which we'll take a look at right after this. That's more for when you just want to rinse something off easily, just without high pressure. Cover as much area as possible. You want, and that's just what the wide angle does, and we can see that here again. This is ideal if you really want to do M, when you have large areas and just want to quickly get rid of the whole shampoo dirt mixture that's left after hand washing, because actually most of it is already gone during the pre-cleaning. If you want to free up as much surface area as possible from residual dirt and leftover shampoo quickly, I would use the white nozzle piece here. The green nozzle with 25 degrees is really the all-in-one product because it offers the best compromise between maximum pressure and still having a wide spray angle. Let's take a look here. Because you really have a nice wide area where the spray water hits. I think around 30, 35 at most, 30 centimeters, somewhere between 20 and 35. You're doing pretty well with that. So this is kind of the intermediate piece. It's logical in terms of the spray angle between the yellow and the white angle. So here, this is really the all-in-one. Anyone who says, I don't want to switch or anything, can always reach for the green one to cover the maximum. But especially with the rims, we see that we have these small gaps where dirt can really accumulate. I hope the camera can pick that up. There we can see all the dirty corners and how dark it is. Normally the rim here shines a really nice bright silver, and this one is completely gray. And the angle is a bit too wide for me when you're specifically doing rim cleaning. I'm intentionally not spraying directly on the rim yet because we still want to work with the rim cleaner and also use the narrower nozzle. And for that, I've brought the Tuga Grün with me. We can just start with a completely new bottle here because I've tested a lot in the last few days. Let's mist this area evenly. Let's let that sit for a moment. In the meantime, we'll switch to the orange-yellow nozzle. So 3 minutes have passed and you can already see that it worked well with a lot of dirt coming off the rim. And now let's try this with the yellow one. You can also see the spray pattern beforehand now. That's about 10 centimeter in spray width, and it's very targeted and powerful here, especially for rim cleaning and also for the wheel well. It's really fun to use this gun here. Of course, that brings you a bit closer. So if you don't want to get wet, you can attach the lance beforehand and then you'll have about 50 centimeters or more distance that you can use here. But I really wanted to go for it here. And I think it's really cool to use this little gun to go directly on the rim. With this, you'll definitely find your favorite option if you decide to bring this thing home. And here you simply have the option to choose from different angles and also, for example, to use this pinpoint spray option for targeted gaps. You just have to experiment a bit. Maybe you only take e.g. the green one or just the yellow one or just mix them up. It's really quick to swap around. And what you don't need, we plug into the device and I'll get the part e.g. Also build it onto the wall at the back here so that it's always at chest height, so that it's always easy to reach and so you can make it ergonomically simple. And we'll see you next time. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I think we'll see each other again here at the next foam party for the detailed foam cannon test. Until then, you're Sebastian. Guys,